Hi, welcome back to I'm a Happy Enchilada. And if it's your first time with us, thanks for hanging out with us. I'm Don Culver, and I'll be your host. And before we dive into our topic for today, I wanted to mention an event I'll be at next weekend. September 17th through 19th in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, it's the Mississippi Songwriters Festival. Now, as some of you know, one of my biggest passions in life is emceeing songwriter festivals and live music shows here along the Gulf Coast and other select areas. And I can't wait to be there. I'm extremely proud to be adding Mississippi Songwriters Festival to my growing list of songwriter festivals that I'll be working each year. There'll be over 100 songwriters from Mississippi, Nashville, and many other areas on multiple stages. You can check out the whole event at their website or on Facebook. It's gonna be a great weekend of music guaranteed. I'll also be shooting an episode of Enchilada while I'm there, which will be great fun. Hey, I hope to see you there. Okay, well, let's get into our topic for today. We're going to talk about criticism. Ooh, that's a tough topic for most all of us, isn't it? I had a most humbling situation a couple years ago with my nonprofit. One of my volunteers with a ton of experience in our area of expertise offered some suggestions for improvement in our program at a year-end meeting that really got me defensive. I took it totally personal and was unable to look at her suggestions objectively right away and kind of push back on some of her suggestions. I replayed that meeting in my mind over and over, trying to justify my position in my mind, but was unable to. I slowly began to realize she was right in her opinions. And as I became willing to look at the situation objectively, which allowed me to realize she was not attacking me, just giving her honest opinion of what was working and what wasn't. Having that realization was a game changer for me. I went back and apologized to her and actually thanked her for her honesty and truly meant it, and made a vow to not take criticism personally in the future. It was a great learning experience, and she forgave me. So let's go ahead and jump into criticism, shall we? Let's start with the real meaning of criticism. The act of expressing disapproval and of noting the problems or faults of a person or thing. So why do people criticize? According to shame expert Brene Brown, who knew there was a shame expert anyway? Criticism is a coping mechanism used by people who feel unworthy. Its purpose is to shift the spotlight off of oneself and onto someone or something else in an effort to stay safe. And here's some other reasons to consider. They want you to understand how your actions are hurting or disadvantaging them. They are trying to bully or intimidate you so they can feel powerful. They are defending their own actions by pointing out you also did some things wrong. Oh yeah. And finally, they lack social skills and are delivering well-meant feedback unskillfully. I like that. And here's some else on criticism, something we have all been guilty of at one time or another: self-criticism. Self-critical tendencies can be linked to perfectionism, self-harm, and eating and food issues. In some cases, a tendency towards self-criticism may lead one to project negative beliefs onto other people. And here's something on the effects of parental criticism on a child. That's hit home for me. When children experience these behaviors, they form negative belief systems about themselves that affect them for the rest of their lives. Whoa. Some of the consequences of parental criticism include low self-esteem, feeling hopeless about one's ability to be successful, and dependency on external validation. Ooh, that gives me chills. It took me decades to get over it for my life. So it is possible to heal from it. You just got to be hopeful and press on. So before I get into ways to deal with criticism, let's just kind of sum up what we've learned so far about criticism and give a final thought on the act of criticism, which can sometimes be a kind and necessary act, and sometimes a mean-spirited act that is designed to harm another. It's so easy to see yourself in a good light and at the same time focus on imperfections in other people. Criticizing people is a complete lose-lose situation that only creates distance, spreads negative energies, and causes tension. Criticism is one of the worst kinds of negative thinking, talking, and acting. So now, let's look at ways to deal with criticism in our lives. First, some ways to accept criticism without being defensive. Actively listen. Ask questions. Understand why feedback is important. Take notes. Follow up. Understand the other person's point of view. And a few other suggestions. Assess if the feedback is constructive or destructive. Show gratitude to those who offer constructive criticism. Evaluate the critic's intentions honestly. Show humility. Control your emotions and take time to process. Don't take it personal. Okay, there's enough info to get you started. If you need more info on criticism, there's tons more online. Well, that's all I've got. So until next time, God bless and be a happy enchilada. Bye.